And welcome back to the Dark Reading News Desk. Terry Sweeney here, contributing editor with Dark Reading. And joining us now are Anthony Aurigemma, Chief Revenue Officer with Anomali. He's joined by Vlad Melnik, VP of Business Development with Alliances with Cribl. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us on the Dark Reading News Desk.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, for sure.
Your two companies have partnered recently around security functionality. Can you each sort of tell us what each of you bring to the mix there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start off. So Anomali, for those who don't know us, we're an AI-powered security operations platform based around three core engines. Our omnipresent AI, which helps analysts assess threats, make decisions, and automate tasks around that. Our big data engine, which is a proprietary engine that we built, one of the fastest data engines out there in the market, and ThreatStream, which is Anomali's calling card in the threat intelligence space. We've been doing threat intelligence for the last 12 years and used ubiquitously across large organizations to do threat intel.
Great. Vlad, what about you? What's Cribl add to the equation here?
Yeah, so Cribl is the data engine for IT and security, and that means that we help with our vendor-agnostic products, we help our customers to build and develop their, modernize their data management strategies. And that includes everything from, data runs everything today. You've talked about AI a lot, so data is behind the AI.
Sure.
What we do, we help those customers with the strategies I just mentioned, is to select, collect, process, and perhaps enrich all the data. And with the partners like Anomali, I run Alliances program, so partnerships is what I do, and we're super stoked and excited about building a relationship and announcing actually today partnership with Anomali.
A lot of complementarity, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We help, like Cribl will actually help customers to put the data into the Anomali, so there's all the goodness there.
The security management platform category seems to have generated a number of acronym-based subcategories, if you will. SIM, SOAR, XDR. These are all intended to be, in various ways, integrative platforms that the business proposition is they are going to erase the silos that have typically dominated security management, right? It just seems like they've created larger silos, though.
Yeah.
Is this a fair criticism of the?
Yeah, I think it's very fair criticism, and of course have done with good intent. But over time, it's been a lot of building off, usually core around the SIM, but adding then, like you said, SOAR capabilities, EUBA, just general ETL, and you go on. And yes, it's created silos in a couple of different fronts. One, a lot of these, or almost all of these, require proprietary languages, tool sets. You got to know how to use these tools in conjunction. You have to integrate all those tools. The way they've been attached to a lot of these tools have been through acquisitions. The code doesn't necessarily line up cleanly, so there's a lot of work to do that. And then, of course, the data then gets siloed as well. And so if we look at it from the Anomali perspective, our whole goal is to say, look, you need to escape from that, where you've blocked all these things together in pieces, it's holding you back, right?
Okay.
And you've wrong all that in. So we built that with the intent of obliterating all of those silos. And the key is data. And that's why the Cribl partnership is so beautiful, because what we're trying to drive through is get access to the data. What Cribl is doing is liberating the data and bringing it to us in a very clean, usable fashion at very fast speed, and then we empower the analysts to work differently.
So, Vlad, are analytics equally subject to this siloization?
Yeah, you could say that. And Cribl is in some sort of a unique position, really. We consider ourselves as a Switzerland for all of the data, if you wish. We don't. That gives our customers a massive choice. And now again, when we move the data into a partner, into the systems that Anomali has, that only accentuate that type of choice.
Right. Fair to say that AI has transformed all of IT, most certainly cybersecurity, both in the SOC and the cloud. The benefit of greater automation has really dominated the AI benefit conversation, at least where security is concerned. What else can the two of you foresee on the horizon with AI and its impact on security?
So a couple different fronts. I mean, I think you're seeing adversarial AI really start to take hold, right? And so AI against AI is becoming a growing topic. I think AI-based decision making inside of the SOC is certainly going to continue to increase. I think it's rudimentary right now. I think a lot of it is not truly AI. It's pretty simple machine learning.
Okay.
And I think a lot of the challenge, what you want to get to is data, right? AI is based on data, right? And it's learning. So you want to be able to get as much data in there, and you want to be able to train the data. So, for instance, one of the things that we're just rolling out to customers now is what we call our custom copilot. So you can add data that's outside of the normal telemetry, your own custom data. You can open up a lot of different use cases, and then we get into things like fraud that you couldn't do simply by looking at traditional telemetry or traditional rule sets. And again, that's where the Cribl partnership unlocks the capability to get at that kind of data.
Yeah, and I mean, I could just add that AI is obviously super hot. We're entering the era of AI. We've been doing it before even Gen AI has become a theme, or I think, as you call it, word du jour, right? So we were super excited to be partnering with Anomali during this time because they're obviously the experts on the AI-driven SecOps platforms. And then the questions that we also hear a lot from customers and what we're dealing with is that, well, how do you process all the data and how do you store it? How do you search all the data that powers AI? At the end of the day, as they say, the best AI powered by the best data. You need data in order for the AI to actually work. And that's where, again, it comes down to the customer's choice, and that's what we're given, and thus empowering AI.
Does AI make something like predictive analytics more trustworthy, more accurate, a bigger part of the security management equation?
All of the above, and that's why, again, the data is so critical. And I mean, I hear a lot of, in the world of AI these days, they hear a lot of artificial, but not that much intelligence. And intelligence comes with data.
Okay.
And it's a common knowledge that the data is growing at like 28% CAGR year over year. Your budgets are not. So that kind of tension between the fundamental things of how the data is growing exponentially and the security budgets may not be able to do that allows you to think of, well, how do you actually manage it in the most effective and efficient way? And that's what we provide to our customers.
So let's drill down a bit on the data side, because in tandem we're seeing the ability of silicon and servers to handle large language modeling and doing this on what is really truly an astounding scale when you have like terabytes and petabytes of data that is being juggled. It is not a small feat. This has huge implications for analytics and for security professionals. I realize this is a certain amount of crystal ball gazing, but tell us where you think this is all headed.
Well, you hit on something really important. I think in order to do the kind of analytics you do, you have to have really big engines to drive this, right? You've got to be using cutting edge, born on the cloud, computing, edge computing to do this. And that's why we're doing a lot of our focusing. I think back to predictive analytics, starting to look not just at what you've seen and what's happening, but predicting what's going to happen. And we've started to do that actually with some of our clients now, where we've been able to go at such scale now, we are starting to have the conversations of can we get into predictive analytics based on what we've seen, look out across a number of different vectors, both in the security space and the non-security space as well. And I think that's what's really interesting, is you can start to apply those to non-security concerns as well. And again, that's where, again, partnerships like Cribl are important because we need access to that data as well.
I could only echo that, and then just add that interoperability is super important and critical, well, in the software industry in general, but also even more so in the security. And as such, we want to make sure that when we partner with companies like Anomali, we can assist in getting the data that also helps with the models for the predictive analytics and such. Because again, this is the term that's been around for years before even Gen AI became that kind of famous these days. And then at the end, that will help the customers, to get the best of breed tools. And it's back to the choice that I just mentioned earlier. So,
gentlemen, real briefly now, what sorts of questions should CISOs and security professionals be asking themselves as they investigate whether this Anomali Cribl solution is right for them?
Well, I think the first question is, am I getting the visibility that I need? Right? right? And in a lot of cases, of course, the answer is not. I think the second question is, am I limiting myself? Because a lot of what I see happening inside of security operations and security teams in general today is they know what they want to do. Either they can't get access to the data or the tools are failing them. So it's a pretty simple question to say, is your team finding themselves stopping themselves because of the limitations of the tool or the limitation of the expense of running those tools? Right, so there's a couple of key questions there.
Yeah, well, one of the other best things that Cribl can do in this particular scenario is that we help a lot with experimentation. We help a lot with the deployment and at scale. And if you want to basically move your data into Anomali, you can do this without any sort of disruption to your business. So, thanks for partnership. This is a great thing.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you. Anthony Aurigemma of Anomali, Vlad Melnik of Cribl. Thank you both for joining us on the Dark Reading News Desk.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you.
This has been Terry Sweeney for our Dark Reading News Desk. Thanks for joining us for this segment. We'll see you next time.